This is Bdubs, a giant of the Hermitcraft server, famous for his building skills and his great smile. Along with many other hermits, he's a favourite of mine to watch, but despite this, I haven't learned very much from his building. I often just watch in awe of what he's done without actually trying it myself. So, to keep this intro short, we're going to explore his Season 10 base and try to recreate a small bit of the magic in my own world, and show you what I've learned. So at the very least I can say, I've tried to build like Bdubs. So we're going to do a little fly around and then I'll talk about some of the locations I'm going to take inspiration from and try recreating my own base. So one of the first things I want to take a look at here is this tree design. If you notice something interesting, he's used signs here to act as branches, and if you look at it from most angles you either get a covered up angle where you don't see the gap that the fences have, or if you do see the gap it's actually covered by foliage, so then it looks like that it's part of the tree behind it. Next we'll take a look at this tree. It's got three types of leaves here. We've got oak, birch and azalea, and it has a mix of moss with grass and ferns in it. You notice particularly that the bushes on the leaves are quite spread out. We've got the use of tough and oak and spruce here to do the tree. And you notice the use of fences and trapdoors and walls and glass to act as branches and leaves and other parts of the tree. Thirdly, we have little patches of stones. He's got this underground section which leads to his storage, which leads and is connected to the mountain that his main base sits on. Next I want to draw attention to the usage of signs and buttons here to give this roof that doesn't have an overhang a lot more depth and detail. You can see particularly that the stone here works well with this particular rock on the mossy cobblestone block. Next I'll point your attention to these big stone mountains that he's got, which act as a nice background when you're travelling around the base. We also have this nice entrance or exit, depending on how you're looking at it from, for his base that connects to the path that goes out of his base location. We're also going to take note of the use of both polished diorite and polished andesite and smooth stone, as well as the grey wall and the diorite to have this texture that looks like something's been leaking down off of it. Also noting the use of glass here when making a waterfall. Another cool detail is the use of jungle and spruce, but using jungle here where it's exposed in the ground, and using spruce where the base of it is tucked away, act as lighting. And at night time we've got the use of glow lichen to act as a path, guiding you along the road here, with the use of nothing else besides the light from interiors to light up the night sky around his buildings. You can see it here, as well as here, in the top here, and the tops here, and even at the cabin there. Also notice the use of bushes here, or leaves, birch leaves, to act as a fence here, to stop people from travelling along this path and keep them along the actual dirt path. I also like to draw attention to the use of azalea, spruce and birch leaves to act as shading on these trees here. At the top you have azalea, Down below that you have spruce, which acts as like a dark contrast. And then further down you have the use of spruce. Birch, sorry. And further down you have the use of birch, and spruce still to act as shadow. And those are the key features I want to take away when I'm building my base, so we'll hop over to my world and we'll see how well I do. Hey guys, and we're back in my world, and so we're going to take a tour of what I've done, and it's a bit bigger than what I expected and planned, but we'll check it out, so let's go. Here is the entrance, which I directly copied, literally block for block, almost, to get the exact same shape. I've obviously used different block colors, but the idea was just to get this shape because I thought the shape was really nice. I've used a weathered copper chain here instead of fences, but the general idea is the same. If you actually look, it's pretty much identical to the one at the end of Bdubs base. Along the bottom here we just have that stone layout that I was talking about, and we have just a kind of rough outline of and border using these stone fences and these bushes. Here is a field for the cows. Got our sheep over here and pigs over here. Sheep, I've left it rather basic. There's nothing really here besides the hay and the water. The pigs, I've gave them a little pig pen, and I've used some resin for carrots, and obviously some mud for the mud pen. Not really too happy with how the blending came out in here. I could probably use another layer of something on the outside here, but I'm not sure, so I've left it like that for the moment. Along the main path here, we've just got some dirt on the outsides, trying to add some texture variation. I've tried to copy what he was doing with the lighting and having a bit of a path at night with the lighting. If you can see, the light kind of stretches up along here onto and then get to the house, and I've tried to leave as much light open to the house as possible. Normally don't do this because I think this actually looks better as a refined tree, but I decided to experiment and put some bushes on the top here. I just thought that would kind of help the look of it. Try to add these columns into the base as well. These were used over in my camp area in my last video. These trees obviously have taken heavy inspiration from what Bdubs has done, and I've tried to copy the same kind of layout of the leaves and everything like that. I tried to experiment as well and added some weathered copper chains to act as like little hanging bits. I'm not sure how well it works yet. I'm still thinking about it. Without shaders, I'm not sure. I think it looks a lot worse, but with shaders it kind of maybe works a bit. Something I tried to copy in was having a backdrop. So obviously if you're walking in the base, you've got this nice view of this floating spire here, and I thought it was a really cool idea. I've tried to do some shading with it as well, if you notice. Well, obviously the top's going to be receiving the most light, and slowly it goes down to we get to tough and then deep slate at the very bottom here. And a similar kind of thing, but with some grass here. We'll go up to deep slate in the center there. This was mainly just as a backdrop piece, kind of like with what he was doing with his mountains there. I thought it'd be a cool little imposing piece as you're coming through the entrance here. Moving up, as you can see, we've got a house that's pretty much, I mean, it's not identical, but it's very similar, very, very similar. I didn't copy the sides. I actually have added the depth here where he was experimenting, I believe, and he left these sides without any blocks on the outside here, and I think he was experimenting with the colors and shades to try and create the effect of shadow. For a bit of fun for myself, when I was kind of experimenting with the idea, I've got a portal thing here. You can kind of just ignore that, it's not really important. With chicken pen here, I came up with this little design, little wheelbarrow. I just thought it looked good there. Got this thing that kind of mirrors or copies what he was doing underneath. I just haven't got any sort of proper structure here. Just put this, this was the composter system that I had in my base, but I've kind of made it into a bit of a wall design. I'm not exactly sure what this was. I've kind of just left it there. Where he had scaffolding in the windows, I thought I'd try just having stairs like this. Normally I'd only do this on a bit more of a castle design, but I thought I'd try it on the house and see how it would turn out, which I think it turned out okay. Got a little chair here and campfire. This is a little storage area, which, you know, I didn't actually think about when I put this fence here, but I mean, you can't get through, but yeah, it's meant to be like a little storage area. Same with here. It's meant to be a little kitchen. I was trying to play around with a design that felt open, but also kind of really closed off as well. And this is the kind of shape I came up with. I think it's okay. I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but I was experimenting mainly. Got here, which is the massive window, but I thought I'd block it off with some fence gates just to try and make it feel like it's a bit more of a window. Didn't really know how to feel about that yet. We've also got this little bedroom here. Got these roots here going down, and a lot of the time I think I spent on these trees, and I can see why it takes so long to build them. I mean, I can only imagine what this would be like in survival. I've built obviously this in creative. For the wheat here, we just have these little outcrops of hay and a little bun on top to maybe act as if it's tying them together or something. To get the variations in the wheat height, I'm actually using a resource pack, so if you're wondering what that is, and same with the carrots, yeah, or potatoes. Just a resource pack, it adds the flowers on top as well. I did have carrots, they're over here. Got some little glass and fences in here to act as little branches that may have fallen off and have landed in here. And over here I've just got a little garden patch of carrots as well, with some mossy cobble kind of bordering it around as well. Take a closer look at this tower now. It's a pretty simple design. It's actually just a simple square pattern, but I've cut off the edges here and also filled it in with fences, which kind of adds like this depth to it, which makes it seem, I think, a lot more detailed than what it actually is. Like if you actually just imagine what it was like, it was just blocks. It was very flat and basic. But the idea of the fences here kind of helped break everything off. And the use of candles and glass here is not something I'd normally do, but I was looking particularly at his leaves, and I thought that was at the pond, and I thought it was a very cool use of having candles, and I thought I'd try something similar with this ruin. And so that is it. It's pretty basic up the top here as well. It's pretty much ends here, then it's just a 3x3 here. We go up to the center where it's just a 1, and then just add some fences for some detail. And as a background, I think it works pretty well. But the idea is, like I said, you come in through here and you have a nice view of the tower here. Try to frame in the house as well with these 2 trees. Try and get a good angle of that. And I think you can kind of get it if you're looking, if your focus is here at the house, then you can kind of see it. And if not, the 2 trees frame this one as well. Starters, it's hard to build like Bdubs, and I don't think I did well. As generic as it sounds, he's very good at scale, shape, and colour. Bdubs manages to balance all of these things in a well thought out build. The scale of his builds really helps ground you in the shape and narrative of his builds. No one detail does it, but it's the build up of every little detail. His attention to detail is key, and you can very clearly see in my own attempt where I didn't meet the mark. His shapes are all well thought out, from every branch in the trunk to the way his structures are placed. And his subtle choice of colours also helps round out his build. He manages to fit pops of colour in unusual blue tints around his path, and slight exposure of hidden blocks behind bushes to help make them pop as well. I went into this thinking there would be one thing I could learn and improve my building to be more like Bdubs. This, however, is impossible. Bdubs is a master at what he does, and the culmination of every detail is what makes a Bdubs build. However, after having attempted to build like Bdubs, I've learned that details matter. Everything you place matters. Looking at my own base, I can see where the same level of thought wasn't done, and it very clearly shows. So, I want to say thank you Bdubs for making the builds and inspiring me to build. And thank you for Hermitcraft for uploading the worlds for us to explore and enjoy and learn from. So that's basically it, and if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to be covering some other hermit spaces, I think, and trying to learn from them as well. If you guys want me to try and build like anyone else in particular, make sure to leave a comment down below, and we'll see how things go from there. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.